Live. Welcome everybody on YouTube. Let's go ahead and get the live going on Facebook, and last but not least, Instagram. All right. Hey, wait, was that last time or was that this time? Are you people joining me on YouTube? I can't tell. Oh, that is live. All right, okay, welcome, everybody on YouTube. So this hour is where we're doing our live stream hour. So if you need beginner help with drones and 3D printing, you are in the right place because that's what we like doing over here at RCwithAdam.com and on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Or if you aren't a beginner and you have some questions, you want to talk about some stuff, we can do that as well. I see you, Mag DIY side something over on Instagram. Thanks for joining us. And on Facebook, it looks like we have one viewer. I can't tell who it is or anything like that, but welcome. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off. I'll still be taking your questions and everything. Welcome, Flex FPV G3R4D 4RD over on YouTube. Welcome. So we're going to do something a little different today. I already have a question that we're going to be working on. This was emailed in to me, and let's jump over to my main camera here. Let me see if this is I don't know if we're going vertical on YouTube. We may not be. I'm not sure, but anyway, I know it's vertical and over on Instagram. So we're going to jump over here onto the screen recording. Anyway, all right, so we have a question that came in here, and the question is about RadioLink Buy Me A or BYME A, BYME dash A. This is from Ken. Thank you, Ken, for your question. So we're going to answer that one first, and then we can move on to any other questions you guys might have. And I don't know the answer to this actually, so we're going to like figure this out in real time together. So he says, now that being said, I would like some help about flight controllers. Okay, so we're talking about flight controllers. And this one, so I had to Google it, or I looked it up. The RadioLink BYME-A, or the BYME-A or BYME-A. He says, I do not understand how to assign the different modes to channel 5 3-way position switch or channel 7 a 2-way position switch. And Arrow's vector flight control system Arrow's vector flight control system 3 flight modes, how to assign it to channel 5 3-way switch. All right, so basically so, and this is all on the FlySky FSI6X transmitter. So basically, how do we get this channel 5 3 position switch? Or okay, so it sounds like you're saying assign modes to channel 5 or to channel 7, a 2-way switch, or the 3 flight modes, and how to. Okay, so specifically we're talking about assigning 3 flight modes to channel 5 3-way position switch. So I have no idea, to be honest with you. Like, that's the short answer, no. But we'll see if we can figure it out together and get some answers for you. So let's set that aside and let's take a look at this. So the first thing that I would want to pull up is like learning what this stuff is. So the RadioLink BYM I'm going to call it the BIME A from this point forward. So the BIME A, so flight controller for 3D fixed wing. All right. So we might be talking about 2 different things. So this is a flight controller. Let's see. I'm trying to make it so that everybody can see what the heck I'm looking at. So I'm trying to monitor that and move the screen over and stuff. All right. So let's open that in a new tab. Let's go to Radio Link. There's an instruction manual. And then flight controller. This looks like the product page. That's usually the best place to start, is like a product page, and see what actually comes up with that. All right, so the Radiolink BIME A flight controller of fixed wing vertical mode with one switch. All right, interesting. Let's see. Vertical mode, stabilize mode, acrobat mode, gyro mode. Let's see. Flex FPV says one switch control all flight modes. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, or at least 3 of the flight modes. Yeah, so what we really want, that looks pretty cool actually. That looks like a lot of fun. An indoor aerobatic plane. All right, so here we go. We're getting to some actual info. So it says no need for parameter setting, easy setup. BIME is developed with the best PID parameters by experienced flight pilots. Blah, 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 blah. Pilots only need to pull both joysticks to the outside corners to calibrate without specifically setting parameters. Okay. So basically what we're talking about is, how do we change the flight modes? Oh, look at that. Yeah, one switch to vertical flight mode. Can we fully enjoy both indoor? All right, so it sounds like what it's saying. Yeah, so it sounds like it's saying you basically just flip into vertical mode and then you can hover. And it works like a monocopter, I guess. Where you're basically hanging on the propeller. Oh yeah, it says use the manuals, tutorials, or frequently asked questions on the navigation bar of this page. Blah blah blah. If you can't figure it out, you can email them. All right, where's the bar on this? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. All right, manual. That's what we want. Oh, that's actually a pretty nice whole manual here. So I don't know, Ken, if you're watching this right now. I don't know if you're live with us or not, but maybe you've already gone through these steps. So I'm not saying you're stupid or anything. I'm just going. You're just gonna go through it, like, So if you haven't seen this, definitely check this out, and this might help you. But I'm guessing you probably already have. So let's see. All right, so flight modes can be set by channel 5. All right, and that's why he was talking about channel 5 and channel 7 in the transmitter with 6 modes. Okay, a lot of modes. Okay. All right, so the flight modes are switched by a 3-way switch and or I guess 2 3-way switches by default. And they're showing here, if you're using this transmitter, those are going to be that's how that's going to work, which is kind of a tricky combination, because they're saying channel 7 is down. Oh, okay, okay. So you're using one switch. You're using one switch on the transmitter to, like, and according to this one, with this transmitter setup, they're saying when the switch is in the down position, it's going to be 3 different sets of modes on the other switch, and then when it's in the up position, it's going to be 3 different sets of modes on the other switch, and then when it's in the middle, I guess it's going to be modes off. It's null, it says. All right, cool. The definition of the flight mode switchover switches is as the picture below. All right, when using other brand transmitters, please refer to the following picture to switch the flight modes. The value range of channel 5 and channel 7 corresponding to the flight mode is as shown below. Sometimes it's very hard for me to read things. Oh man, welcome everybody on Instagram and YouTube. We're trying to we're answering a question for Ken, who's wondering about how to set up these mode switches on the Radiolink BIME A flight controller for an indoor acrobatic RC airplane. this is what it's saying. Yeah, basically just like how that was. So channel 7, when the channel 7 switch is up, it's going to be these modes using channel 5 to actually switch the modes. And then when channel 7 is down, which is they're showing this, I can't highlight it. They're showing that range of the throttle or the switch value range, which could be reversed depending on how the switch is set up, I think. So that would be something to test out to make sure that the switch that the mode that they're showing here is the mode that you're actually getting. And then yeah, that's basically how they're showing it. So it's a little tricky without having it and being able to have the transmitter and the whole setup to be able to kind of test that out and make it like happen like that. So the question is it not straightforward? So that's I guess that's kind of as far as we can go at this point, because I would need more information to figure out like what is it doing, what is it not doing. I guess we kind of know what it's supposed to be doing. Because by default it should be where'd I go? So this one, let's see, does it show? Yeah, here we go. So let me move that a little bit over. So by default, so we're looking at S bus PPM signal, channel 4 rudder, channel 3 throttle, channel 2 elevator, channel 1 aileron, button for gyro phase adjustment. Not totally sure what that means. And then they're saying that's a little arrow that you point towards I guess, the nose of the aircraft. I think that's what they're saying, right in that picture. So why would I have an S bus PPM signal? Oh, here we go. All right. Should probably read it right. Flight controller capable and 4-channel trainer and scale model aircraft, blah, blah, blah. And is S bus and PPM signal supported? It doesn't really explain why, though. Does that make sense? I'm trying to like wrap this around my brain here. Yeah, no, yeah, I guess that would be correct. Yeah, like they just so that it's essentially, it has 4 pins. Actually, it has five servo port pins on there, but those channels are dedicated. Channel 5 and 7 are dedicated to the mode adjustment. Okay, so as far as how to do that, let's jump over to this again. You've probably seen this already. But I have a whole bunch of FlySky related videos, whole bunch of videos about the FlySky FSI6X transmitter, and it's in a playlist called FlySky Tutorials Tips and Tricks. You can find it on my YouTube channel, and what would so probably this FlySky i6X, how to set up top 5 functions. That video would probably be helpful to this, but you may have already seen this. The next thing would be aux switches. So let's open that in a new tab. Aux switches, arming. I show how to arm, throttle limit, fail safe, set up an arm switch for like a drone. That one's an arm switch for airplanes. But yeah, I think you could use a different channel. You wouldn't have to use channel 5, but I use channel 5 for that one. Reversing channels, that's also could help. And so also reversing channels, if when you reverse channels, like that might be what you would want to do so that the modes work like how they're supposed to work. I'm not really sure though, because I can't remember which range, like for the high and low, like signal amount is default on those switches. Else. Yeah, no, I think that's mostly what pertains to that. Yeah. Also, bonus tip for FlySky people: this video, which FlySky receivers and transmitters work together or work together. Yeah. TX and RX compatibility explained. That's a good video to watch. Basically, there's a chart at the FlySky website, and it will show you which ones work together. Because otherwise, it can be very confusing, and some of them are outdated, and then some of them like work for ground, and some of them for air and stuff like that. So that might be helpful. Let's see about this video here. Let me make this a little smaller. What are aux switches? How to set them up? Okay. So switch A. I'm actually, is that actually channel 5? That's how I always set them up anyway. I set them up so switch A which is the top left, that's channel 5, and then next one is 6, and then the next one is 7. Across the next switch is 7 and then 8, and then the variable knobs are 9 and 10 left to right. So using how I set it up, it would be channel 5 would be the top left switch, and then channel 7 would be the switch on the right hand side, the left hand switch on the right hand side of the controller. FlexFPV says, I hope you have all these videos on a hard drive somewhere else apart from YouTube. It's priceless. Well, thank you, FlexFPV. I appreciate that. And I do. I have them backed up in a cave in Switzerland. So, where they will never be found. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. That's all part of it. But you could also, I think you can actually download these yourself or something like that. But all right. So I think that answers your question, Ken. I know I tend to give long-winded answers, but like I said, we got to something there. So take this information, use it, let us know if it worked for you, or if it didn't work for you. I guess you can let me know either way. But yeah, it's fun to talk about stuff. It's honestly, it's really nice to be getting back into the um the I don't know, the totally lost my train of thought there. It's nice to be getting back into like just the fun side of RC stuff, like the stuff that I started with, and also like the FlySky stuff, because I don't use FlySky regularly now, and so some I've forgotten a lot of stuff, right? It's crazy because you get so many things going through your brain, it just pushes old stuff out. But that is why I'm really glad that I made all of these videos that I made, because it not only does it help other people, it helps me to remember like how the heck I'm supposed to do things or set stuff up, and really good refresher. So that's the other reason why I like to make YouTube videos and stuff. Instagram, looks like there's nobody over on Instagram, but thanks for joining us anyway on Instagram. I appreciate that. Facebook still looks like we maybe have one viewer. Thanks for hanging out with us over on Facebook and YouTube, of course. We just got somebody else. We got 11111N7C. Not a super catchy name, a little hard to pronounce, but welcome. Glad to have you on the YouTube side. So if you are just joining us, we're just kind of hanging out. This is our live Q&A hour, kind of open office hour, sort of, where you would come into my office and I'm like, what is your problem? And you're like, I can't figure this out. And I'd be like, ah! And no, not quite like that. But basically an hour dedicated to where I can help you guys and kind of refresh myself on this stuff, and just kind of get some get some problems solved, you know? It feels good. Doesn't it feel good to get some problems solved? It feels good to help people, and it feels great to have your problem solved as well. Because I know this can be so frustrating with drones and 3D printing. That's what we're talking about basically. And drones includes like RC stuff, you know, like tradition, like not well, you know, whatever, RC airplanes basically. It can be very confusing, and especially when you're just getting into it. So it's nice to get some live, immediate action help. Mm. All right, what else do we want to talk about? We've got 32 minutes left. I know I started a little bit late. I'm getting a little bit better at starting on time. I typically underestimate everything involved with the setup process and getting things connected, and then maybe the internet doesn't work, or I forgot something, or whatever. So then it ends up getting delayed. But welcome to what we got, Roma FPV over on Instagram. Thanks for joining us. We are just going over some beginner, not even just beginner, but just some. We're doing question and answer, problem solving stuff. Oh, and I guess I should answer that question, right? Over on YouTube, they say, "How are you?" I'm doing super good. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Sometimes we're not doing well. That's okay too, you know? That's okay. Um, but not okay in the sense of like, that's fine, just live like that forever. But it's like, you know, it's okay to not be doing okay sometimes. I just thought of this as I was looking. Let me switch the camera here because we're not doing it much on the screen recording side. Do you ever just like see shapes and you just think like, I wonder if that shape would fit into that shape? You know what I'm saying? And let's see what's going on there. Okay, cool. And anyway, I have these squishy cubes that I 3D printed because I'm working on a super top secret product. And I was like, you know what would be cool? Like, what if you like you had two cubes and then you had one that was like cut out in the like you basically took the corner, the half, like the pyramid type of the cube, and then you like put it in there, and you like use that to cut into that cube. Would that fit? Would that match up? No, it wouldn't match up, would it? Cause geometry. Oh darn. No, I guess it wouldn't. It might be cool though. It might be a cool little thing, or like if it was like magnetized or something. I don't know. But these are these cool squishy cubes that I made. Testing these out. Doing some test products for fun fidgets. Whoop! We got an actual question or a comment or something, some sort of interaction. Flex FPV says the new ELRS radio and receiver makes things way much easier. $34, you can't beat it. Also, use Fusion. No. I've switched from Fusion for 3D modeling, at least I assume that's what you're talking about, to Onshape. I prefer Onshape now. Fusion, I used Fusion for several years, and I made a lot of cool stuff with it. There's nice things about either one, Onshape versus Fusion. But lately I've really liked Onshape. I find it's very intuitive, except there are some things that are not intuitive, like putting text on things. Not intuitive. Um yeah, but I've enjoyed Onshape, so that's what I've been using lately. But Fusion is totally good too. So you can definitely use Fusion, and you can use it for free. Still, you can still get a free account, as I made a video about that. And then, but for some reason, a lot of people it's not working for them, but some people it is. I don't know. Anyway, you bring up a good point about the ELRS radio and receiver, and it makes things much easier for $34. You can't beat it. Which radio and receiver are you referring to? That is $34, or either one. Um, and yeah, ELRS. Let's talk about Let's talk about ELRS for a little bit here. because, oh, I just remembered something. Oh, I almost didn't answer all of Ken's question. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Ken. How could I? Arrow's vector flight control system, 3 flight modes, how to assign it to channel 5 three-way switch. My goodness, guys, that happens sometimes. All right, my apologies. So before we talk about ELRS, because there's plenty of time to talk about that, let's see if we can answer this question. So Arrow's vector flight control system. What is it? I don't know. Not really sure. But what we want to do is find some models or find a manual. Um, let's see. Arrow, is it Arrow models? Gyro? That looks about right. Is that what that is? That looks like what it is. Okay. Wow, that's really cheap for a flight control system. But I guess for planes it's a lot cheaper because it's well, anywho. All right, so that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying there. All right, so this is, let's find a manual that is not like some kind of a shady manual. Flight control system manual. Oh, and Flex FPV says T8L Radio Master. Oh, that was probably the one. No, that wasn't the one we were looking at. Ooh, is there a new one? I have not been keeping up with those either. Um, Let me go here. All right, flight control system. It is in Chinese. That's going to be a problem. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Just, okay, half of it is. All right. Okay, let's jump back over here and see if we can answer Ken's question. All right, so I think you can see this. So I'm at the arrows-hobby.net, Arrows Hobby Vector Flight Control, Arrows Hobby Vector Manual page. Um, so the vector flight control system, let me make this bigger. Designed for your loyal wingman, the Arrows Hobby Vector Flight Control System is a digital co-pilot programmed, designed to be, sorry, God grief, specifically for your aircraft. Got it. Beginners, blah, blah, blah. Intermediate, got it. Great. Okay, cool. What was the question that he actually asked again? The question was Arrows Vector Flight Control System, 3 flight modes, how to assign it to channel 5 three-way switch. So again, this is kind of a situation where like, Ken, you have the question, but I'm not sure if you're asking the question because you've tried it and it didn't work, or you didn't know how to try it, because that will make a difference. Because if you tried it, if you already found this manual and stuff and you tried it and then it didn't work, it's like, well, something must be wrong, as opposed to just like, you know, not sure if it's actually correct or not in the first place. Anyway, functionality. All right. So, flight control system operates in 3 flight modes: stability, dynamic, and direct. Transition between the 3 flight modes utilizing a 3-position switch on your transmitter. The middle position will be direct mode by default. Note, only 2-position switch is available, the vector flight control system will only switch between stability and dynamic flight modes. I'm not sure what direct mode is, but it probably says somewhere. It says we're about to get there. My goodness. Just keep on reading, Adam. Stability mode, dynamic mode, direct mode for pilots who want to experience a pure flight experience with no electronic intervention. No input is given at any time by the flight controller unless it is switched back to stability or dynamic modes. So essentially off. That would be the off mode, basically. Okay. So initialization, calibration. Yeah, okay. Okay, all right, here we go. Receivers, here we go. S-Bus and PPM receivers connect the S-Bus PPM cable directly to the S-Bus port on the receiver. Pay close attention to the polarity of the cable. Notice that the channel order is ailerons, elevator, throttle, and rudder, AETR. Use the transmitter to correct the channel order if the default settings on the transmitter do not match this order. And for PWM receivers, which is going to be more common on a airplane, connect the S-Bus PPM cable to a spare channel to be assigned to a 2 or 3 position switch. Connect to all other channels according to the label on the servo lead. So I think this is going to be the key here, assuming you're using a PWM receiver, which you don't mention which kind of receiver that you are using. But if, for example, you're using FlySky, you might be using like an IA6 or IA6B receiver. Those would be like probably the two most popular ones for aircraft. So they're saying connect the S-Bus PPM cable, which is yeah, it's the cable coming out of this one, the one that says S-Bus PPM. You should connect that to channel 5. I believe that is what your question is here. You're saying Aero's vector flight control system, 3 flight modes, how to assign it to channel 5 three-way switch. So that would do it. And so, but remembering that you need to have your switches set up in the FlySky transmitter. So that would be this video right here. What are aux channels and how to set up FlySky? Did I do this one? No, that was, yeah, this guy right here. What are aux channels and how to set up FlySky FSI6X aux switches? So you got to make sure that those aux switches are set up. And oh, I'm just kind of remembering that's only a 2-position switch. Oh, okay. All right. So so that is how you would do it, but you would just need to make sure that you assign channel 5 to one of the 3-position switches. 3-position switches. Oh. Wait. Yes. Okay. So both, right. So you can assign the channels to the switches. So you need to make sure that for both of the things that you asked about, which I disappeared here. Where are we? There we go. All right, let me get that back up. So your question was how to assign the different modes to channel 5 through a position switch, or channel 7 a two-way switch. And then how to assign the vector flight thing to channel 5 three-way switch. Okay, so what I realize now is that I believe this would be the video on how to, I think it's assigning channels. I think so. Let's actually look at the video. But basically you'd want to make sure you wouldn't want to set it up how I set it up. You would want to change it so that channel 5 is going to be set to right there. So aux switch. Oh, so first you got to turn your aux switches on, and then you would turn them all on, and then here you'd say your channel and the excuse me, and then your source. So you would assign channel 5 to a 3-position switch, which I think is like switch, what is it? Switch A, B. I think it's B. I think it's switch B. I think it's A, B, C, D. Or is that switch? I can't see what it says. Switch A, B, C, D. Probably D. Okay, so there you go. I'm pretty sure that answers it. I'm much more confident that that does answer the question. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, that only took us like 41 minutes, which honestly is probably not bad, because a lot of times these kinds of things, if you're not familiar with like what to look for, how to look them up, like what do you need to know to find it, it could take you a whole day or something, or I mean, good grief. In my case, like when I was first getting into quadcopters with the Wizard X220, after watching Stu from UAV Futures, it took me like actually like a month to like problem solve this silly little problem that I was having. And I think most of the problem that I was having was I didn't realize that it wouldn't work with the Spectrum receiver that I had, and like how to get that all connected. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. All right. So I'm super stoked that we answered that question. I'm pretty sure we like 100% got a solid answer to that question. Excuse me. I think so. All right. Anybody joining us today for your lunch hour or something like that over on the East Coast of the United States? Or maybe it's your breakfast hour or something over on the West Coast or anywhere else in the world. Welcome. We're talking about any questions that you have about drones and 3D printing, trying to get some helpful info if you're a beginner or even if you're not a beginner, and also just have some cool discussion about drones and 3D printing because that stuff is a lot of fun. And I would recommend it for just about anybody. All right, Flex FPV over on YouTube mentioned ELRS. What is it? What the heck is ELRS? ELRS radio. Let's just do a little search here. Actually, specifically, he mentioned the T8L Radio Master. Let's Radio Master RC. Let's open that tab. What is ELRS? Everything you need to know about ELRS. 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 Express LRS is what it's called. Let's see. Do they say? Do they say? Let's check out Pyro Drone. Love Pyro Drone. Everything you need to know about ELRS. This was from January 20th 2025. So almost a year ago, which who knows where it's at right now, right? But every drone requires a blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm not going to read through it right now, to be honest with you. I don't think I read through stuff super well when I'm like on camera. I tend to miss a lot of stuff. So, but there's definitely some info about how to use it. Yeah. I need to get into it. I actually haven't. I this is another thing, oh my gosh, another thing that like I purchased an ELRS receiver and I also purchased the Radio Master oh, these are the ELRS receivers. Wow, there's so many now. At first it was like there's like a handful of them and now you have so many options. Um the pocket radio. That's what I got. I got the ELRS pocket radio and it's pretty sweet. I like it. I like it a lot. There are a few things, maybe it's not perfect or whatever, but it's a super great radio. Has in the time I've used it, I've enjoyed it a lot. It's very small, compact. Anyway, so I got the ELRS version so that I could get into ELRS, and basically it's just built in, so you don't have to have an external radio transmitter like that you pop in the back. I do, however, usually use that because I've been using Crossfire for like all of my drone builds, which is not to say like a ton, but that's what I've been using over the last several years. But I bought a receiver to like retrofit something else, and then I never actually did it. So I was like a little busy with other stuff. And Flex FPV says once you go ELRS, he says, trust me, once you go ELRS, it's done. Yeah. Yeah, because why not, right? So ELRS basically is my understanding. Like I said, you can go read like all the specifics about ELRS and stuff. But my basic understanding about ELRS, the bottom line is that it's like an open source um, uh, um, 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 radio connection for controlling your drone, or Express LRS is what it's called. So it's and so the idea is like it's a lot cheaper and it's open source. There are a lot of manufacturers. So instead of previously where it was like the manufacturer like Radio Link or Radio Master or FlySky or Spectrum, they would be the manufacturers of these radios and you had to use a Spectrum radio with a Spectrum receiver and you had to use a FlySky radio with a FlySky receiver. ELRS basically is this way of kind of leveling the playing field, so to speak, and As far as I know, all the ELRS stuff will work with each other. So you could have you could have correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you could have a Radio Master ELRS radio using a ELRS receiver made by Beta FPV or something like that. So, which is really cool. Also, they tend to be smaller. It's my understanding. And you can also do it with airplanes now as well. So that's pretty cool. These ones are definitely not like cheaper. I know a lot of them have been cheaper, but like this one is this nano, like this 2.4 gigahertz Express LRS. I don't know what the difference is between these. That it looks like that one has a beeper or something built into it, but this one, I mean, it's no, maybe that's an antenna. I don't know. Like I said, I need to learn up on these things. But these are so tiny. These are so teeny tiny, and so they're really great for micro drones. And Flex FPV says that I'm correct, so thank you. And yes, he says they have them for air, land, and sea. Yeah, so it just makes sense. Like I'm trying to think of why you would not go with ELRS. Well, so I say that, right? But I have not actually gone ELRS yet because so the reason why you wouldn't is because if you have a ton of, receivers and a radio system that works, well, does it make sense to buy into that? Because you kind of have to retrofit your whole fleet. So, probably going forward, I will, because I haven't actually purchased like new receivers and new, it's especially new receivers for airplanes, like fly sky receivers, because that's typically what I was using. But I don't have a Crossfire receiver for an airplane. I just have, I think it's like the Crossfire Nano, for drones and stuff. And Flex FPV says their Gemini system is best. Gemini, the Radio Master, is that what you're talking about? The Gemini system? Gemini. Oh, there you go. Dual band Gemini. Gemini. Whoa. Sick. And look at that. It just fits into a stack, which is, man, that's actually pretty cool. I'm actually like, I'm getting pretty excited now. Like I was, I had a lot of different stuff going on for a while and then like kind of got out of like drones like for fun. It's just one of those things like it ends up getting kind of pushed out and it's not good. You got to do stuff and that's fun and everything. And honestly, flying drones and stuff is very therapeutic. But so I ended up getting away from that and it was kind of like, kind of getting burnt out on like the drone stuff, especially getting into all of like the drone hype stuff. Just, YouTube, just the constant feed of like, no, this thing is best. Don't do this, blah, 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 blah. So that's lame. But what I'm saying here is that it's actually really exciting when you think about you can get back into it and the tech is like very different. It's a little overwhelming because it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm a beginner again in a lot of stuff, but it's good. It's good though because it's actually good to kind of get back to kind of basics or just, be learning, I guess, getting into the habit of learning stuff instead of just kind of like, I guess, I don't know, rehashing the same stuff or thinking that all that there is to know already. Anyway, that looks pretty cool. The perfect companion to the Radio Master Nomad, the DBR4 is a cutting edge dual band, dual channel Gemini receiver that ensures seamless compatibility with the Nomad module. Okay, so it's a module. Engineered for superior blah 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 blah. So 2.4. Oh, no kidding. Stop it. Each capable of simultaneously receiving 2.4 gigahertz and 900 megahertz signals. This innovative design allows for the reception of two data streams simultaneously, providing exceptional interference rejection and eliminating the risk of lost packets. I hate it when my packets get lost. With the DBR4, you can trust that your signal remains robust and reliable, giving you confidence to push your limits and explore new horizons. Elevate your RC experience with the unparalleled connectivity and performance of the DBR4 receiver. That's actually that is really cool because I guess it's, there are receivers that are smaller than this, I think. I don't know if that's like a 20. Yeah, it's a 20 by 20. So that's pretty darn small, especially to be dual band. Like that's really cool because previously, I'm sure a lot of you FPV guys know this. I'm sure you know this Flex FPV, but previously you had to kind of choose, like, do you want to do a 2.4 gigahertz system or do you want to do a 900 megahertz system? And the idea is with the lower hertage of the 900 megahertz, you could go further and penetrate through buildings and stuff and go and do like longer distance type stuff. So that's why for a long time, Crossfire was like the stuff for flying at longer distances. But then a bunch of other kinds of systems came out with like what do they call it? Like the LoRa or something. And I think it was also Express LRS, or Express LRS uses LoRa. Anyway, but it's still on the 2.4 gigahertz, which is the like the standard frequency range band band. I don't know if I'm using those terms correctly right now, but the 2.4 was basically the standard hobby level, and then 900 megahertz was like, oh, you must be a professional doing long range stuff, and you need that super secure connection. But now, basically, through technology and stuff, 2.4 gigahertz, using like a way of using it, I guess, has caught up to it, or has really changed it a lot. Because you get other benefits of like better reception. I want to say better reception at shorter distances. I think actually better penetration through materials, through walls and stuff. That is super cool. And that is totally something that I could justify buying because I'm like, well, if I'm going to use it for like professional use or something, I got to have the dual band, even though I've never lost signal, using the Crossfire system. But the benefit of this is it is ELRS. However, talking about the Nomad module. So let's take a look at that. So the Nomad module, the Nomad, holy smokes, 1 watt crossband. The say Gemini module, the Bandit 915 megahertz. Huh. Wow. Wow. That would be the Nomad. That's pretty cool. Dang. Yeah, that looks pretty sick. Pretty huge too, relatively speaking. And then so for anybody who doesn't understand what is this module would plug into your transmitter, and usually like into the back of the transmitter, and it uses pins. If I can show you a picture, or like pins. Well, this is a little different. Eh, eh. Anyway, it has pins. Looks like this one only has a few pins. Usually they have like 8 pins or something. Um, oh, it's an There's an adapter. Okay, I see that. Looks like there's an adapter. I guess it goes from 8 pins to whatever number it needs, and also to fit different styles. I think they call it a JR module size or something like that. Uh, but that would go in the back of your radio. Now, the thing is if you're doing, and that's only specifically like what we were talking about for this dual band receiver, but for most ELRS stuff, you can buy radios that has it built in. Oh, and I kept forgetting to say this. Flex FPV says they are adding voice control to it as well. Yeah, that's wow. I wonder how that works. And I wonder what the benefit of that would be. And because some of the other benefits of ELRS is that you can like, oh, I can't remember specifically how it works, but basically like your module or your radio will remember the receiver, and so the binding is super easy with it. super easy to bind to it and like maintain that connection. Um, let's see. Okay, there's that T8L radio, T8L T8 Lite radio, T8 Pro radio. Has that been out for a while? I can't remember. So we've got the T8L. I would imagine that's the same as the T8 Lite. No, that's different. Let's click on it and see what happens. So I've used the Zorro. Did not like the Zorro. Zorro was not for me, man. It just felt weird and I didn't like the screen. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a pretty cool minimal radio. Very DJI like. Very minimal buttons and switches and stuff. Seems pretty cool though. It's hard to tell with radios, you know, it's very dependent on your hands, how big your hands are, whether you like to pinch grip or use your thumbs. All that kinds of stuff makes a big difference on how the radio actually performs. Let's take a look. So the T8 Pro radio. Okay, so that one has a screen. The screen is nice. The screen can be nice because you can get a little more information, or it could be easier to kind of set stuff up or see which model you're using, stuff like that. That's kind of cool. It's got little buttons on the screen. I assume it folds down. Wait, what? Wait, is this just the T8 with a screen? Oh, wait, I don't know if I like that. How do you connect a module to it if you needed to connect a module? Looks like that is the module. That's where the module would go. Okay. I'm not sure if I like that one. Excuse me. But again, if you won't need to use a module because it should have ELRS, right? Oh my gosh, it is 1 o'clock. We are all out of time. What does this say? Protocol options, all CC 2500 and more. So that would be the multi model frequency chip, but it doesn't. Is this multi protocol module compatible chip? Okay. All right. So this one is not the ELRS version. Is there an ELRS version of it? The T8 Lite? Because you were saying there was. Mm. Yes, that's the CC 2500. Okay, maybe you meant when you add a module to it. Oh, and then okay, so this one, okay, so the T8L radio, you can do ELRS on this one. So maybe that was the one you're talking about. $34. Right, isn't that nuts? Isn't that just nuts and also really fantastic? Like the price of stuff has gone down tremendously. It's wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's crazy. All right. Flex FPV also says some other stuff. He says the radio will have a mic on it to send command to the receiver. So I wonder, I don't know. Some of that microphone stuff, I'm not sure. Sometimes that seems like it complicates things more than it helps. It sounds interesting though. He says, did you see the FlySky latest radio? It's better than all. Look at this when you are free. I don't know if I guess you're referring to the FlySky latest radio. We're gonna jump over there, but then we're gonna jump off of this. Let's go over to FlySky. Let's type in FlySky. I think there we go. FlySky-CN. Yeah, I did see it briefly. I'm assuming you're talking about this one, the Pro Art PA01. Let's go to products, air. Wow, that is so tiny right there. What did I do? Trying to make the image bigger, but it doesn't work. I think you're talking about the PA01. FlySky's first gamepad style. I thought they had another one that was gamepad style. Well, they did actually. They had the one that looked like a Nintendo 64 controller style, but maybe they're just trying to forget about that one because that one was like really weird. Um, I mean that it looks super sick. It's got a bunch of buttons and stuff. It's got lights in it, right? Because you got to have cool lights when you have goggles on, so that you can have cool lights that you can't see. I mean, I'm kind of joking here, but sometimes the buttons, having lights on your transmitter and stuff can be really useful for low light. However, you should also get used to just being able to use it by feel if you are going to be wearing goggles. Anyway, we'll take a look at that more probably next time. Tomorrow, probably, I think tomorrow. Yeah, we should be back at the same time tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me. Flex FPV says, yeah, the PA 0 radio is a new go-to. It has ELRS and its own system. If that has ELRS and FlySky, I might have to do that. I don't know. Maybe I could get him to send it to me. I don't know. I don't usually nowadays I don't really usually try to like pull my celebrity strings, right? Because I'm a YouTube celebrity. But that might be fun actually. Okay, all right. Thanks everybody for joining us over on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We've been having a fantastic time. Hopefully we helped you, Ken, answer your question. And that was great because it gave me a little refresher on the FlySky channels and systems and stuff like that. So Flex FPV and everybody else, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to jump off now. So see you later on Instagram and see you later on Facebook. And last but not least, see you later on YouTube. We'll see you probably tomorrow. Be sure to come prepared with your questions and we'll have a good time. Bye-bye, everybody.